Hello everyone, I'm Wilfried Barda, and I'm sorry to break the MFE lightning talk combo that you guys started. So yeah, behind this bit clickbait title, I will talk about the learning record store benchmarking tool that we are developing at Fun to try to measure performance and to see where our LRS is at. So a few words to introduce myself. I'm a former embedded software engineer, and I had to work on systems with limited resources, where we have to optimize at space and speed. Yeah, and now I'm working at France Université Numérique, so fun, and we're building commons for online education in France with the Green IT ID by design. So yeah. Why measure performance? Yeah, because we want to reduce our negative impact on the environment, but mostly because we're developing a learning record store, Ralph. Maybe you heard it before at the horse session that Brian and Jill gave. So yeah, we don't know where it stands compared to the other LRSs and the open source LRSs. And we want to know if it scales all right and to find bottlenecks and improve on them. So yeah, the meme would be one that we can see in our Slack channels. Yeah, don't do this. You want to increase the performances before scaling up and scaling out your pods. So yeah. Quick reminder of what learning record store is, very quickly. With the example of Ralph, we have LMS, which is based on OpenADX, but even several other components like Marsha or Ashley that sends API statements into the LRS, which has several backends for databases like Elasticsearch or MongoDB. And yeah, we have some tools for data visualization that query the LRS, Grafana, Superset, or even a homemade data visualization tool. And here are some example of open source LRS, like Learning Locker, which is the most famous one maybe. The LRSQL by Yet Analytics and Ralph and Trax LRS, that are two LRSs developed in France, I think. To show a bit more how LBT works, we are using DataSim image that generates 6 API statements given profile schema, XAPI profile schema. And we're using Locust, which is a Python-based load testing framework to swarm with a lot of users the LRS with post and get. Yeah. And then we have the collected metrics that we can plot directly with a Jupyter notebook. There's in general 2 use cases for the LRS, it seems. One would be for the protocol one, it would be one organization or one LMS sending big batches of statements, and so posting big batches of statements. And another use case what we can find too is several components or many users each sending one statement of XAPI into the LRS. So we keep that in mind and we run this, we run tests for these 2 protocols. And for the protocol one, where it's one user sending big batches of statements, it seems that for posting statements in it, Ralph is doing surprisingly good compared to LRSQL and Learning Locker. But we can see that there's room for improvement on the getting part, where it's way behind. Here we're measuring the average response time of yeah of the requests during 900 seconds. And for protocol 2, we can see that we have lots of improvements to bring for WALF, but there are huge response time for both post and get statements, so we're still investigating why it's taking this much time. And yeah, there's a lot of limits of this tool because we are running the both LRS and attached database in Docker containers, and yeah, it was just running both these images and locust on the same machine, so we can take absolute values out of this context. It's really not how you would run LRS in real life. But yeah, we did several iterations for reproducibility to try to see if there's a lot of variation. It doesn't seem to have yeah, a lot of variations between runs. We even deployed one run test on Kubernetes production cluster that we have, pre-production cluster that we have, and it had similar results. So yeah. But the problems with this tool is it just gives you the time how it performs, but you don't have any insights on time bottlenecks where you're losing time in your on your server. So yeah, we will have to add a profiler for it. And I think I've done very quickly. Yeah. So we're still in very early development, and you're welcome to contribute if you have any question. I will be around, and yeah, that's all for me.